Hey guys, Escape Wheel here, back with another watch review. Today we're going to be looking at the Pagani Design Daytona, or the PD1644. They do have a new version out with a rubber strap, and it's the 1664. That one actually has a different case than this one, so just be careful. It's a minor difference, but that one, the lugs in this area are a little different. So anyway. So this one I picked up at the latest brand sale, and I picked it up for $62, and that's from the Trendy Men's Watch Store. I actually saw today that you can actually get this same watch for $58 with some coupons. So that's an insane value, I think. Typically they're in the $80 range, I think, is the retail price on these. But yeah, you can usually pick them up in the mid 70s. So when you see them in the $60 range, that's when you should get them. So let's talk about Pagani Design. There's not a whole lot of information about the actual company. They've been around for 5 or 6 years, I believe, and just in the last few years they've really stepped up their game, and they're putting out some quality products, and this is one of them here. This is one of their best sellers. Let's get into the case dimensions here. So this is it's a 40 millimeter watch. It is 20 millimeter lug width. The lug to lug I measured at 48, and the thickness I measured at just a hair over 11. So it's nice and compact. It's going to fit pretty much every size wrist. So you do have these protruding end links, which it doesn't make that big of a difference because they're pretty short. But yeah, it's a good size for this watch. So as you can see, the entire case is polished, and it's actually polished really nicely. They did a good job on it. There's no funhouse effect or anything like that. So yeah, really nicely done. Even the back of the watch is circular brushed, nicely done. So I have no problems with the finishing. Even it's a simple finish, but very nicely done. The bezel on this is a ceramic. It's got the engraved tachymeter bezel going around it, and I think it looks really nice. It's nicely done. It's printed really nicely. There's no paint bleeding out of the engravings or anything like that. I saw no issues. Even under macro, it looks pretty good. So very happy with the bezel. And even, I've heard some people have problems with the alignment on mine. Everything lines up pretty much spot on. So really happy with the bezel alignment on this thing. The crystal on this is just a flat sapphire crystal, so it's it's got the scratch resistance that you need, and it's great. It's got no AR coating on it, which I'd like to see, but it's not that big of a deal. The dial on this, I went with the black dial. I had the Panda Parnas. I'll leave the link for that up here. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but so I wanted a black a black dial on this one. So the black dial on this one, it's really nice. It's a gloss black, very deep, nicely done. You've got the applied hour markers all around. Even at the 3, 6, and 9, you got these kind of little tiny square ones. Nicely applied. They're all aligned well. I see no alignment issues on the bezel. Then you've got this printed minute track, which has 1/20th of a second markers printed around it, and that's so you can time accurately with the tachymeter, or with the chronograph secondhand. Down at this kind of 4:30 position, you do have a date window. I wish it was black, but it really hasn't bothered me in the couple days that I've had this. So, and it's centered in there nicely, so they did a nice job on it. We're gonna get nice and close here. The subdials. So at the 3 o'clock subdial, you have a 24-hour hand. So that's more of a AM/PM indicator for me. I'm not planning on setting this at all, so it's whatever. It's there. It's there for symmetry, and I guess I appreciate that it's there. At the 6 o'clock, you have the running second hand. You can see it ticking away once every second. And then over here at the 9 o'clock you have the minute register for the chronograph. So the one thing that I really wish they would do is put more markings on this minute chronograph counter, because when it's between 1 and 5 minutes you can't tell, you just can't tell what it is. So it kind of worthless, but it is what it is, and you know, it looks good, so it definitely looks over function at this point. We also have kind of a circular pattern on these subdials. The subdials are interesting. In some light they're silver, but I think it's the concentric circles here. They change from a bright silver to kind of a champagne color, and then back to silver. And sometimes they'll catch, like if you give them direct light, they will sparkle colors of the rainbow. So they're really interesting. I wasn't really expecting that, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a nice detail, that's for sure. The inside of those subdials are gloss black, just like the rest of the dial. Very simple handset on this that is faceted, and it looks like there's like a black line that kind of runs down the middle of it. Very nice touch. They do kind of get lost, as you can see if you hit it in the right light. They do get lost. So I kind of wish they would have done like a brushed finish on those hands maybe. And I would have liked to see like a pop of red on the tip of that second hand, the chrono second hand. That would have been nice to see, but you know, not a big deal. Most of the time you can read it just fine. It's not a problem. So underneath this 12 o'clock you have the Pagani Design shield with the Pagani Design chronograph, and then in red, it's kind of hard to see in this light, it says Sport underneath it. It's very subtle. I kind of thought it was going to bother me, but it really doesn't. So the lume on this, I'm going to go get you a lume shot. Let's go check it out. So there you go. That's the lume shot. So you got the San Martin Submariner on the left, you've got a Parnas GMT on the right, and then the Pagani Design in the middle. So as you can see, it gets destroyed by the San Martin sub, obviously. That's kind of the benchmark to hit. And it's on par with the Parnas GMT. So kind of, you know, I'm impressed with this because I wasn't expecting much coming from the Parnas Daytona, but this Pagani Daytona definitely beats the Parnas Daytona. If lume is important to you, I guess go with this one, but it's still not great. It's going to be gone after 20 minutes. You're going to be struggling to read the time. So don't count on the lume, and just be pleasantly surprised when you get a little bit. All right, let's talk about this movement in the crown. So as you can see, it's got a big crown. Sorry, crowns, plural. The main one is signed, the other ones are not. All three of them are screw down crowns. And so you see it pops right out, which is nice. It does feel a little numb, so when I'm trying to pull this out, finding the positions, it feels a little numb. But it's not a big deal. I just can't really. The first time I did it, I pulled it all the way out, didn't realize I had pulled it all the way out. So yeah, just something to think about. If you look in here, you can see a gasket there, and there is a gasket in the top of the crown here, and there's also an O-ring in the back of the caseback. So this is rated for 100 meters water resistance, and those gaskets there, those really help. The threading is really nice and smooth. I've got no problems with that. So good job on that, guys. These crowns up here and down below, they've got like no feel to them. So they unscrew really nicely and smoothly, but they're just super light. There's like no resistance at all, which, it is what it is, but I would kind of like a little bit of resistance. They're not as nice as the nice feeling as the Parnas ones. So when you do tap this top one, it'll start that chronograph second hand. You see it sweeping along at 4 ticks per second, I believe, 4 or 5 ticks per second. Really nice, good feedback on that crown too. So it's a nice tactile click. And then you push this one in, it'll snap back to right at 0, and everything aligns up good, like I said before. So I have no issues with the crowns. Really well done. Same thing with the movement. It's been, I had it in my harness for 2 years, and I might have set the time every time the time changed, but otherwise it was super accurate, and I had no problems with it. So really happy to have a nice grab and go quartz in my collection again. Alright, let's talk about the bracelet. So the bracelet it's 20 millimeters, tapers nicely down to 16 millimeters, then back up to 18 at the clasp, and you can see it's a nice even taper. I noticed on the harness it was a little bit less even, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to say, but yeah, it's just something I noticed. This one tapers nicely. It's got the center links are all polished. The outer links are all satin brushed. Really nicely done. There's not really any sharp edges or anything on this, which I was kind of surprised at. The clasp is branded with the Pagani Design logo, or the Pagani Design text. It's nicely done. Nothing fancy, but nicely done. It's just a typical Rolex style. So you flip that open and pop that, and inside you've got a milled. It's all polished in here except for this middle part of the buckle here is kind of a satin finish as well. Yeah, everything works nicely on this one. I've heard people have quality control issues, so this one doesn't have any. It does have, I forgot to mention, it does have a diver's extension as well. So yeah, so you just pull on that, it pops out, gives you kind of like a half link. Sweaty day extension is what everyone calls it. So, and yeah, it works fine. No problems with that. It's a little stiff, but not bad. And like I mentioned earlier, it does have that male protruding end link. It's, it curves down pretty good, so it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. As far as fitment on the case, everything fits really nicely. And yeah, it's I'm pretty impressed with the bracelet. Nicely done. Not quite as nice as the the San Martin that I have, but really nicely executed, especially for the price. Hey guys, so I completely forgot shooting this after the review. I did want to mention the issues I have with the clasp. So functionally it's fine. This thing here, it's a little loose, so it kind of rattles around when you're putting it on. This link here is fine, but right here, this spot right here, super loose. I don't know if that's by design or what, but you get a lot of play in here. Like I said, I don't know if that's a quality control issue. I just think it's bad tolerances. It doesn't really hinder the function of it, because it's still, even if I'm forcing it off, and it still closes. So but yeah, when you're putting this on, you do get a little bit of a rattle, and I think it's all coming from this spot right here and the flip over. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Not a huge deal, but just something to be aware of. And then I wanted to talk about the Caseback a little bit. It's actually really nice and flat, which makes it sit on the wrist nicely, a lot better than the harness. So yeah, it's a screw down Caseback. It's got the Pagani Design logo on it. It's got all the water resistant 100 meters stainless steel, and then it's got the model number there, the PD1644. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, end links in the bracelet are solid, and they actually have appropriate size holes, so I could get a spring bar in there, or a spring bar tool in there, and take off this bracelet. But I don't know what it is about these spring bars, but they are a pain to get out. I had more trouble with this bracelet than any other bracelet I've had. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal was, but it was just not coming out. Yeah, so keep that in mind if you are planning on changing this out. Once I got them out, everything looked fine. I kind of thought maybe the spring bars were broken or busted, but they're not. They're actually really nice, chunky spring bars. So that was good to see. And maybe that's why it's such a pain to get out. But man, I had such a such a problem getting that out. And then one of the other things, so I forgot to mention the screwed in links. Everything came out perfect on those. Those were really nice and easy. They haven't backed themselves out yet. So yeah, they did a good job on those screws. But one thing I forgot to mention about this clasp is there is micro adjust. So you can see kind of these little indentations there. So those are micro adjust holes. There's 3 of them. Out of the box it came set on this biggest one, and it was just a tad too loose to me, so I wanted to move it back. And again, this spring bar, once you pop that diver's extension, you can get one side of it a spring bar on. But again, it was such a pain to size this thing. I don't understand why, what type of spring bars they're using. They look normal to me when you get them out, but man, it's tough. I probably fought with this one here alone for probably 10 minutes trying to get it. But I eventually did get it. Everything fits fine now. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I don't know if that's a quality control issue or what. And here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. You can see it fits really nicely, nice and flat to the wrist. Kind of hugs it nice. This is one of the better wearing watches that I've got. Yeah, so looks really good. No problems. It's very comfortable. So yeah, again, good job. So there you have it. That's the Pagani Design Daytona, or PD1644. Really catchy name. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, I'll be leaving a link in the description. That is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra. It's actually the cheapest place you can buy this thing right now. And I'm pretty sure it's got the cheapest prices typically. So that's the Trendy Men's Watch Store. Typically it is about $75. And like I said, you can get it today. I believe is one of the last days you can get it for... I was able to get it for $58 with coupons, so definitely go check it out. Yeah, so like if you do use those affiliate links, it just tells them that I'm the one that sent you there. I get a little bit of a kickback, and that's going directly back into the channel for right now. Hopefully bringing you guys some more watch reviews, and yeah, we'll have some fun with it. I've only got 6 spots in my watch box, so we'll do some giveaways, and we'll have some fun with that. So yeah, if you liked the video, please consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up. Drop a question down below. Let me know what you think of this. If you have any questions, drop them down there. I'll try and answer them. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Usually I'm pretty quick with it. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.